My name is Ralph Elwert,
I'm Jan Elwert.
and we had Forest Glen tear down our old home and build our new home. We had input from the beginning through the end. It involved dealing with architects, it involved dealing with city planners to make sure that we built a home that was acceptable to whatever the city had in mind as well. And we felt very much a part of it. Different rooms that we would want to redo as we would like, or different flow through the house. We would do that on our own as well. But we always had someone there to help us to make sure that we didn't make a silly mistake. It's true that when you build a home, there's an overwhelming number of decisions that have to be made. It would have been easier if there were just one item, if you had to pick just one switch and you'd be done with it. But it's not like that. Everything in the house you have to pick out, and although that can be overwhelming, with the help of professionals, it made it a lot easier.
It was a very elaborate time frame, knowing in advance what we had to do at each step, and it made it so much easier because it can be such a daunting task to have to pick out everything for a new house.
The reason this house came out as nicely as it did is because of the project manager we had from Forest Glen. He's if not a personal friend, he's as close to a personal friend as someone can get. He was on the lookout for everything. He was very detail oriented. He kept us involved in every step of the process so we knew what was going on. He was terrific. He really made this a success. Because of his attention to detail, he avoided what could be some mistakes in delivery, like they delivered the wrong color bricks. It wasn't Forest Glen, but the provider of the bricks delivered the wrong bricks. He caught it. It was that sort of level of attention to detail that kept us from making any mistakes. The two questions that people always say when you build a house is, was it built on time and did it come in within budget? It did not come in within budget. That was because we elected to put other things in the house, not because of the builder. And we wanted to do things in a different way, to upgrade certain things and make different choices of our own. We could have built this home and it would have been a beautiful home within the budget, but there are some things that we just want to do a little bit differently. The other question is whether the project came in on time. No, it didn't come in on time. It came in early, and that was a bit of a surprise to us as well. Typically you would expect it to take a full year from start to finish, but the building of this house came in at about 10 or 11 months. I got to know the tradespeople pretty well. We rented a home just 7 blocks away from this location, so that allowed us the opportunity to come over pretty much on a daily basis. I kiddingly told Tom, Tom Reedy, that it may have been better if we were 500 miles away so they could build the house without me being here. And he said, no, come on over. So I did, and I got to know all the tradespeople, and they were terrific. They're very different kinds of people. They were hardworking people, but they were delightful to be around. And in fact, I got to know that the 3 most critical craftsmen were in my view, were the painters, the finish carpenters, and the tile setters, because that's what everybody sees. You see how the painting was done, you see how the trim work was done, and you see how the tile was done. And those were all not only very interesting men, but these are men who really cared about what they did.
When we did have issues, our project manager would be right there. We had no problem at all. Everything was taken care of very quickly.
The question of whether we would recommend Forest Glen in the future, I think there's an interesting way that you can ask that question. And you can say, would you ever do this again? And most people who build homes or additions are going to say, are you kidding? I wouldn't think about it. I don't ever want to do it again. If you ask me whether we would do this again, I wouldn't want to do it tomorrow because we've just moved into the house and we love our house. But would I do it again? Absolutely. It was a fascinating experience that we thoroughly enjoyed, and that is unusual for, I think, most people who build homes.